Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Well, I'm wrapped up for the winter because it is definitely colder out there. Storm Amy's still here. It's very gusty outside this morning, but I took the Scram 411 out again, and I have to say I love that bike so much. The seat that Stuart sent me, the seat pad, really does make a difference. I'm definitely going to get a sheepskin rug cover to go over the top, and I think that might be enough. I'm actually finding it quite comfortable now. So yeah, I'm not going to have the seat adjusted or heightened until I've ridden it for maybe 500 miles. And also, I received today, thank you to Peter, who sent me, I'll spin the camera around and show you. He sent me some engine bars. Look, they look great. Here they are. Don't think they've ever been fitted. I don't think Peter ever fitted them to his Scram. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. They arrived yesterday, and I will attempt to put them on. I might get some help because I think they might be a little bit tricky. But I'm going to give it a go. And if not, I will call on reinforcements, Stuart or Lee or somebody. Anyway, let me spin the camera in. So, thank you to everyone that's left me comments about the Scram and about the exhaust, about how to clean it, and what not to use and what I should use. It's still silver 2 days later, so I will keep on top of it. And yeah, I think it looks better silver, but I might buy a new end cam for it. If I see one on eBay that's reasonably priced, I might get that and fit that because that might be cool. I'll spin the camera in a minute and show you the Scram or Scrambo. Before I do, I want to talk to you about how much I paid for my Scram 411. Oh, before I tell you that, I've just got to talk about a video that I watched. I'm sure you watch him, Solo Moto UK, Derek. Top channel, top guy, very funny, always makes me laugh. He seems to have lots of mishaps, falls off his bike. He's had his bike nicked. I mean, he really goes through it, but he looks after his bikes so well. They're so immaculately kept. He cleans them, buys all the accessories. They always look amazing. But I watched a video of his the other day, and I have to say, and I told him I was going to say this, so I'm not speaking out of turn, but it made me laugh out loud. I really belly laughed because he was talking about a helmet that he was wearing, which was an expensive carbon fiber helmet. I think it was £600 or £700. And he'd done some adjustments to the inside of the lining, and he'd used super glue. I don't know what he was doing to it. I think he was sorting the lining out or something. Anyway, when he went out on the bike, after doing this, when he got off the bike after his ride, the helmet was stuck on his head because he'd super glued his eyebrows to to the helmet. Oh, Derek, I'm not laughing at you, mate. I just think it's so funny. So he had to go to the hospital with his with his helmet stuck on his head. How can you not find that funny? Oh, I love Derek. He's great. Derek, love your channel, mate. I'm glad you're putting more videos out. The video that he mentioned about his helmet being stuck to his head. At the end, he said he'd been out in Storm Amy. At the end of it, he said he'd fallen off his bike. Derek, you can't end a video by saying that, mate. It was horrendous because he's had a couple of spills on his bike, not major ones, but he has come off it or he's dropped it. And I hope you're all right, mate. But I have to say, on a day that I needed to have a proper laugh, you really did come up trumps because that is so funny. I keep thinking about you walking into hospital, having to have your eyebrows shaved up. It's like my mate Rob. Anyway, right, let's talk about the Scram 411. So I bought this bike from Wibsy Motorcycles. Ian, who owns Wibsy Motorcycles, me and him become buddies after he sold me last year, or this year, beginning of this year. Well, it was the end of last year actually. My classic 500, and he really sold me that at a really good price, and yeah, really looked after me. And we speak now, and we talk about other things apart from bikes. We've got a very similar sort of way we think about things. So we do have, we put the world to rights, I think is what you'd say. And he phoned me up, I suppose 3 or 4 weeks ago, and said, Willie, I've just had a Scram 411 coming as a part exchange, and I thought of you. Would you like it? I could do it for you as a trade price. Now, trade price means that you buy sold as seen. You can't. It's not refundable. You basically get what you're given, and he's always looked after me. And I've got 100% trust in the guy. So anything that he says is good enough for him, and he's got really high standards, is more than good enough for me. So he said, what I'm going to do for you is, it's a 2022 model. I think it's just done under 5,000 miles. It's done over 5,000 miles now, I think. Well, it has definitely done over 5,000 miles. He said, I will just do a service on it, MOT if it needs doing, which it didn't, because it was MOT till I think the end of August, beginning of September. Yeah, and I'll deliver it to you as well. He's in Bradford, so that is a long way. So all of that included. And also he said he would, and he has taxed it for 6 months as well. So that's a really good deal. Now, before I spoke to Ian, I was seriously looking at buying a brand new Scram 411, which, I mean, they're harder to find at £3,000, but they are available, pre-reg ones. And that comes in at about 3.2, including on the road charges. And also then I'd have to find, so the places that were doing it were quite a way away, so I'd have to get delivery. So it probably ended costing me about 350, something like that, which I still thought was an amazing price. But Ian said to me, I'll do all of this for you. It's a lovely bike. It runs really nice, and it really does. It's lovely. I will do that for you. What do you think? What do you think's a good price? I mean, I was blown away when he offered it for me. That's including delivery, that's including 6 months tax, that's including a service. £1,600, guys, £1,600, which I think is an absolute bargain. Now, he said, I don't mind you mentioning to you lot how much I paid him for it. Obviously that's a trade price, and we're kind of friends now, so he did it to me as a sort of mates rates as well. So that's not something he does for everybody, obviously. But what I will say is that the company, Willjtolson Motorcycles, is amazing, and they will really look after you. They'll do you a good deal. They're a BSA main dealer, and yeah, they will really look after you, and you can feel confident buying from them, which I think is a massive thing when you're buying something like a motorbike or a car or whatever. So yeah, Willjtolson Motorcycles, go and check them out. Ian, you're a top man. Thank you so much, mate. I'm loving the Scram. £1,600, guys. I think it's a bargain. It's half the price of a new one, or less than half the price of a new one, and it's running, and it runs absolutely perfectly, and it's just what I want for a winter bike. Now, a lot of you said, or a couple of you said, oh, well, you're only going to keep it 6 months and then you're going to sell it on. Well, people who know me know that I probably won't keep the Scram 411 forever. That was what I initially thought myself. I thought, well, I'll keep it for the winter and then I'll sell it on and do what I did with the Classic 500 and sell it to one of you guys at the price that I bought it from Ian from. I'm going to do bits to it, obviously, in the meantime. So I think still at £1,600 in 6 months' time, it's still a great bike. I get it MOT'd, and yeah. However, I have to say, I know I've owned it less than a week, but I absolutely love it. I really love it. And I think I'll find it hard to let go after the winter's over. I am going to ride it through the winter, but it's so much fun to ride. It really is. And I know one day probably I will sell it, but at the moment I can't see that happening anytime soon. So the initial plan of keeping it maybe over the winter and then selling it on and buying maybe a bear or a shotgun, I'm now not so sure. This Scram is amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, it's almost as much fun as the Classic 350. In fact, it's probably as much fun in a different way maybe, but I love riding it just as much as I do the Classic 350. So I will sell it one day, I'm sure. I'm not going to say it's a keeper, but you never know. Ernie 2's a keeper, my Classic 350. But if I do sell it, then obviously I will put it out to you guys first. And I never want to make money on the fact that Ian does me such a good deal. And obviously I'm going to be putting the engine bars on. I'm going to put a rear hugger on, I think. Maybe the handguards. I really haven't decided yet. At the moment, I think it looks really, really cool as it is. And I'm just enjoying riding it. Let me spin the camera around and show them to you. I have to say, they look great together, don't they? There's something about Royal Enfields. I know I am a fanboy. And I was watching Tame's video this morning, and he was saying that he could see himself having a second bear. And we were talking about this in the video that we did, having two classic 350s. I really can see still one day having another classic 350 alongside an early 2, maybe a Signals one, because I just love the way they look and I love the way they run. So why not? Anyway, that's for another day. The Scrambler, or the Scram 411, what a bike. I think it looks superb. I really, really do. I was wondering, on the Hemi 411, they've got the little sort of supports there instead of that. I was wondering if I could get a bag that can go over that, because they do them for the Hemi 411. I wondered if I could put a bag on each side. What do you think? But the seat cover, brilliant. Thanks, Stu. Really, really made a difference. The exhaust, looking shiny and silver. I'm going to keep the rest of it as it is. I said I might, as I said, I might get a rear box, an aftermarket one, but I'll see. And I'm still unsure about the handguards. A lot of you mentioned, or a few of you mentioned, that not all of the Scram 411s come with the tripper navigation. I think the later ones didn't, which I didn't realise actually. So I haven't actually linked it to my phone yet, but I might try it. As I said, I had it on my Super Meteor and never used it, but I might use it on this bike because I've got it. So yeah, what a great looking bike. Absolutely loving it. It rides absolutely spot on, and it just makes me want to go down a gravel path. I can't explain why. It's just got that feel about it. Yeah, I feel so good riding it, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Anyway guys, so £1,600. I think it's a bargain. You won't find one like this for £1,600 anywhere, I wouldn't have thought. And yeah, I'm really pleased. So thank you to Ian and co at Wibsy Motorcycles. Go and check them out. And yeah, tell me what you think, guys. I feel a little bit like I've neglected Ernie too. That's how much I'm enjoying the Scram 411, is the fact that I haven't touched Ernie 2 since I've got the Scram. So I need to start taking him out again. Right guys, I hope you are staying out of the wind. Thanks for all the comments, especially about the mental health side. Yeah, it's always an ongoing battle, isn't it? So yeah, it's very kind of you to think of me when you send me these messages. Have a great day guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ride safe.